Damon Martin, MMA fighting here with the 2021 Olympian, four-time NCAA champion, Kyle Dake. Kyle, welcome in, man. How is everything?
Everything's good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, let me open by saying, of course, congratulations on a huge win at the Olympic trials. Getting to the Olympics, I know this has been a lifelong dream for you. Kind of give me the emotions of that moment of achieving that dream.
You know, I thought about that moment for a long time. Pretty much every day I was like, okay, put yourself in this situation. How you gonna execute? How you gonna, go through everything and how you gonna win this match? And obviously winning the match, different situations all the time. But I was like, well, how's it gonna feel at the end? So I put myself in that situation so many times that, once I got there, it was familiar to me. Obviously I was really excited. I was ready for that next step. Because that's been, the roadblock for me is just getting through and making it to the World Championships. So, the past 2 years, I was able to, win worlds, but then this year, making the Olympic team is something pretty special. So I'm really excited for that opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Obviously, Jordan Burroughs is a legend. There's no doubt about that. And obviously, when you got a roadblock like that in front of you in that division, it's understandable that it takes some time to get there. Can you kind of give me a sense in terms of like your mentality, your physical preparation? What was different this year going into that match? And obviously, again, beating Jordan's a big deal because, again, that guy has lost a handful of times in his entire wrestling career.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan's a great competitor. I've said that for years. He's obviously proven himself to be that way. One of the big differences this year, in the past few years, is I changed up my cross training. So now I do functional patterns. It's a company; they're worldwide, based out of Hawaii right now. But those guys have really leveled me up. My movement has changed dramatically since the last time Jordan and I wrestled in 2017. The way I'm able to execute, move my feet, move my hands. I'm stronger, more powerful than I've ever been. So I owe them a lot of credit for helping me along this path. Obviously, I had to go out and execute myself, but having them was in my corner was huge, and I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah, I know confidence has never been an issue. You've obviously won so many different things in your career, but knowing that obstacle was there, knowing that was the last man standing, so to speak, to get you to the Olympics, kind of like was there a difference in terms of mentality approaching this match? Because I saw a lot of confidence in your approach when you were dealing with Jordan's shots, when you were getting offensive against Jordan. Like it just seemed like you were supremely confident you were going to do what you went out there and did. And it was again, and to do it back to back again, there was no third match. Do it back to back. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact just confidence in my training, confidence in everything that I do day to day. I'm never second guessing myself. I've done that enough. I've put in the time, I've put in the work to get where I'm at. So, I've figured out, the best diet, figured out the best, training regimen, figured out the best way to, handle practice, set up practice, how to peak, how to manage my weight. All of those things I just have 100% confidence in. And I have, I just go out there with a clear mind, and all I do is just put it on the line. Just say, okay, here we go. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. And, there's nothing I would change about how I got here. So I'm going to go do my best, and that's it.
Yeah. How much did it either change or give you time, or maybe, maybe annoy you that you had to wait an extra year? Because obviously we know the Olympics were canceled last year because of the pandemic. Obviously everything's moving forward now, but like, was that tough to deal with? Because that's a year off. That's an extra year you've got to train and get ready for this event that already only comes along every 4 years.
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating. I had the plan of wrestling through to 2024 anyway. So, I was planning on continually training after the Olympics in August of 2020. So when that got pushed back, it didn't change that much. I was actually pretty excited just because, well, at first I wasn't excited. At first I was pretty disappointed because I was in peak form. I was ready to go. I was going to go out and put my best foot forward. But taking this year to continue to get better, continue to grow, continue to improve my game, and continue to fix my problems has made a big difference. I feel like I I've gotten better this entire year, this calendar year, and I'm gonna keep riding that wave and continue to improve and hopefully go get the job done in Tokyo.
Yeah. Now it's a weird one because, when I say, did you get a chance to celebrate? Because obviously this is not the end goal. The end goal is to win gold. The end goal is to be on top of that podium, in August and, stand there with the gold medal around your neck. But, going out there and achieving this and because I think, again, there's a reason why you and Jordan were the last match. There's a reason why so much attention was being paid because Jordan is who he is. Do you celebrate a win like this? Like, do you give yourself like 5 minutes just to enjoy the moment, or is it all about, getting to Tokyo, getting to that podium in August?
It's really important to stop and smell the roses with everything. So, being able to go out and accomplish what I did, I took a little time to relish in that and be a part of that and feel it and, try not to get too far ahead of myself. Obviously the end goal, like you said, is Olympic gold medal. So, but he was a big roadblock and, he's one of my biggest competitors, so there's not only a handful of guys who, that I feel that I really need to focus on and in order to wrestle the best of my ability, and really just prepare for. But, my entire training schedule is between 6 and 8 weeks. And I try to compete every 6 or 8 weeks, maybe 10. But after I compete, I take a week off, then I'm back on the mat, low intensity, and then start ramping up again. We have another competition. It would have been 7 or 8 weeks right after the trials at the Pan Am Championships down in Guatemala. That's at the end of May. So that'll be something that I'm looking forward to, a nice little test and tune up before the Olympic Games.
Yeah. So is that kind of give me a sense of like what the next couple of months are going to look like for you? Because obviously the end goal is the gold medal. So you want to make sure you stay healthy. You want to make sure you give your body a chance to rest to get ready for, July and August. But obviously you also don't want to lose that competitive edge. I mean, again, you're coming off a huge win over Jordan Burroughs to get to the Olympics, but you also want to stay sharp. So like kind of give me a sense of what the next few months are going to look like for you.
So we have a pretty intense training schedule. We just got back from camp last week. We were out in Colorado Springs with the national team, with the Olympic team. And this week I'm headed out of town to get another couple training sessions in with David Taylor, the other Olympian above me. And then we have another team camp before we go to the Pan Am Championships at the end of May. And then after that, we have another camp in end of June and then into July. And then July 17th, we take off for acclimation camp in Tokyo.
There you go. So now I know that in your weight category, 74 kilograms, going into the 2016 Olympics, Jordan was the favorite. Now he obviously ended up getting an upset and ended up not taking home a medal. But when I look at 74 kilograms, I was doing my research last night. I know a couple of people. The guy who beat him in 2016 has moved up a weight class. I've looked around. Obviously, I think a lot of people believe you are the favorite going into that category to walk away with gold. But again, just like what happened to Jordan in 2016, you got to go through the matches, you got to win. But can you kind of give me a sense of like how you're feeling in terms of your confidence going into when you look at the field, or at least who you think is going to be there in Tokyo, how confident you are in terms of and winning gold? I mean, obviously that's the goal.
Yeah, I'm very confident. Like I said, I take confidence in my training, confidence in my training partners, and everything that I do. I believe that I have, the best team, best support behind me to push me to get to that goal. And, there's a few guys out there. A guy named Frank Chamizo from Italy. I wrestled him earlier in the year, had a tight match with him. The guy who's beat Jordan the past 2 years at the World Championships. Sidakov from Russia, he's going to be in there. There's another guy from Slovakia that just beat Chamizo. There's there's obviously a bunch of competitors there that I'm going to have to go out and perform against. The guy who actually beat Jordan at the Olympic Games, Bekzad Abdurakhmanov from Uzbekistan, he actually trains in the U.S. and he'll be there. So we have there's going to be a lot of people that I'm going to have to go through. I think it's going to be a 16 or 17 man bracket. I'm probably going to have 3 matches day one match day 2. And, that's where I'm at. I'm ready to get it going. So, I'm confident with where I'm at right now. We're less than 90 days out from opening ceremonies. And, we're actually not going to be going to the opening ceremonies because, we just want to make sure that we can get to the mat. We want to be able to get to that first whistle, and we don't need any hiccups along the way. And, there's a lot of rules and regulations and red tape that we're going to have to navigate through while we're over there. But, it's all worth it if you get a chance to stand on top of that podium.
Yeah. Now it's a weird thing because wrestling, very much like the sport I typically cover in mixed martial arts, it's an individual sport, but there's also a team element to it. Just like when you see teammates in the UFC celebrate, even though it's, one person winning, there's still a team celebration. Now, when I look at the U.S. Olympic team this year, now that we got through the trials, I'm biased because obviously I'm an American. I root for the American team, but I look at the squad that is put together this year, and I see a lot of potential for medals in there. Obviously, you got Kyle Snyder coming back. He's already been a gold medalist. Obviously, you got yourself coming in there. A lot of people, as I said, believe you're going to be out there and really competing. But when you look at this entire team, David Taylor, you look at down the list, like this is one of the strongest Olympic teams I've seen in recent years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a pretty fierce team from top to bottom.
Yeah, I think we got a really strong team. We have proven competitors. Thomas Gilman, he was a world silver medalist. He's going to be in the hunt for a medal. Jordan Oliver, who hasn't had an opportunity to wrestle at the world championships, really has been turning it on as of late. He's got to go qualify in Bulgaria this next week. And obviously we think he's going to get the job done and go out and go get a medal. Myself, David Taylor, world champion, probably ranked number 1 in the world. Kyle Snyder, multiple time world champion, Olympic champion. And then to cap it off at heavyweight, we got our young gun who is super talented, Gable Steveson. He's at the University of Minnesota. He's been on a tear recently. So I think our whole team is full of a bunch of studs, and it always comes down to the individual performing. And I can't go out and perform for Thomas or David, and they can't go out and perform for me. So my goal is to go out and take care of business. And if I do that, then that's all I can do.
Yeah. This is a difficult question to answer, consider we're not there yet. So I understand how this works, but you've worked for this, your entire life. I mean, you've been a 4-time NCAA champion. You've been a world champion. So you've achieved so much in your career, but can you even give me like the sense of what it would mean to you to win Olympic gold? Because for people that aren't as deep into wrestling as maybe you or I, that moment, because again, it comes along once every 4 years. And for a lot of people, that's it. You only get one Olympics. Now, some people do obviously come back for 2 or sometimes 3 Olympics, but some people, that's it. You get one. Can you give me any sense of what it would mean to you to be a gold medalist, to win that, to achieve that in your career?
That's been a lifelong goal for a long time, is to, be an Olympic champion, be a world champion a couple of times, be an Olympic champion, and go get it done. And, you have to, you kind of have to have a whole season and of nearly perfection so that you can go out and achieve that goal. So, I've been on that path for a long time. And in 2016, I was pretty disappointed with how everything ended. I was second on the Olympic team, didn't make it, didn't punch the ticket, but obviously this year I was able to do it. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity to go out there, and I'm going to make the most of it. And I think the most, it's going to be a little bit different. Not having my family there, because they're not allowing international fans. So that'll be a little tough, but I'll be rushing home to celebrate with my wife and 2 daughters, with my parents, all my teammates. It's going to be, pretty special, I think. And, obviously being able to do it for all the people who have supported me, all my sponsors, can't thank them enough. But, I think I don't know that it's going to set in right away, because every time I step on the mat, I'm like, okay, this is just a wrestling match. Like, don't make it bigger than it is. The circle's still the same size. The guy the guy you're wrestling weighs the same as you. Everything's the same. Just go perform. And I think it's going to take a little bit for it to settle in. And, I'm going to be pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we spoke once before, about a little over a year ago, I believe it was, when all this, I think when the Olympics, first got canceled, and we were talking about, doing some different things, doing some different fun things while you were kind of taking downtime. We talked about the potential. I remember you mentioned a long time ago the potential of like doing a grappling match with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and you had told me at that time, like you've always said, focus. Your wrestling is your focus, not really mixed martial arts. Because I'm the MMA guy, though, I noticed on your Instagram you started picking up some boxing.
Yeah, just trying to figure out the mechanics of it all. There's a lot of crossover when you get to those those fighting styles. From boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all those things are, there's applicable motions and applicable movements that are really important. And one thing that boxing offers me is something that I don't do very well. But I'm starting to learn, starting to figure it out, and being able to throw hands in a way that will enhance my wrestling is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that doesn't mean you're going to become a fighter one day, though, right? I mean, you can tell me if you want to, but I'm like, I saw you boxing. I was like, ooh, Kyle Dake's boxing now.
Yeah, I was, obviously never say never, but right now I feel like I'm pretty set on continuing wrestling and, trying to continue to reach the highest level of performance there.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned you planned on sticking around till 2024 anyway. So this is obviously a long-term goal. And again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form looking past this year, but is that the plan to definitely stick around and wrestle again for 2024?
Yeah, that's the plan right now. So this year's a little bit different. We didn't have the Olympics last year, but they weren't going to cancel the World Championships this year because they had all the venues set up and they still wanted people to have that opportunity. So there's the Olympic Games in August, and then there's the World Championships in October, first week in October. So if you win a medal, you win the Olympics, you automatically go. That's the way the U.S. has it organized. We'll have hopefully everything goes as planned, is win Olympic gold medal, come home, take a week off, get back into training, and then go over to Oslo, Norway, and wrestle at the World Championships again and do it all over again.
Well, it will be a very busy 2021 for you. It already has been. So, Kyle, congratulations again on making the Olympic team. Again, that's such a big achievement. Again, going through a guy like Jordan Burroughs, who, as I said, we all know is a legend in the sport of wrestling, to go through and do what you did. Have a safe training camp. Obviously, have a safe matches coming up. But obviously, man, I cannot wait for July and August. So excited for this Olympic team, and hopefully next time we speak, you'll be able to hold up that gold medal, and we'll see it during the interview.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the plan. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Kyle. Talk to you soon, buddy.
See ya.